This guy thought I poisoned his drink. Back in 2021, I was working at Dunkin' Donuts and we had mask mandates in place for the store due to COVID-19 being a very present issue. It was probably around February at roughly 7 p.m. when some guy walked into the lobby without a mask on. As required by my manager, I was obligated to deny service to anyone lacking a mask. So as orders followed, I politely asked this guy to put a mask on or I would not be able to serve him. He responded to that with "I don't wear masks. You should have signs posted around the store saying masks are required." So basically this guy had walked blindly into the store and missed all 12 mask requirement signs that we had posted up. After reporting this to the current shift manager, she just told me to serve the guy so he would leave the store. I went back over to him to ask him what he wanted. He ordered a hot tea with sugar. So I proceeded to make his tea and place it on the counter in front of him. At this point this guy was very fed up with me and was concerned about the white powder I put in his tea. I responded to his concern in a pretty aggravated tone because at this point I had just wanted him to leave. "Sir. You mean the sugar you asked for?" He kept replying with these persistent claims that I had put some kind of toxic substance in his tea and kept demanding that someone else in the store made his drink. Normally if someone had an issue with their drink, I was pretty easygoing about it and would just make them a new one. But at this point this guy was really getting on my nerves and I told him that he would need to pay for a new drink if he wanted it remade because there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. Eventually he agreed to pay for another drink and left the lobby. This guy started to become pretty threatening at one point because after leaving the lobby, he just stood outside in basically a whiteout blizzard staring at me through the window. At this point it had been about a half hour and this guy was still standing there with, I swear, about an inch of snow on his shoulders and head when some snowplow driver walked in and noticed him. The snowplow driver ended up pointing to this guy and asking me he was okay or if I knew him. After that this guy who had been staring at me for the past 30 minutes for some reason started to look very uncomfortable and I kid you not threw his tea into the air, turned around and started full on sprinting to his car. He slipped and fell on his back about 4 times before he made it to his vehicle and while in the parking lot floored the gas, taking off down the road almost completely losing control and spinning out into a salt truck on its way down the opposite side of the street. The next day I had found out this same guy had been detained later that night because he was supposed to be on house arrest. This was by far one of the strangest encounters I've had and if I had to describe it in just a few words, it almost didn't even feel real.